Hello viewers. Well, the thing everyone's talking about at the moment is Oculus Rift. A little while ago during E3 I popped along to an event called EToo, which was a small gaming event held in London, and one of the things that really captured my attention was the Oculus Rift at the time. I wanted to check it out, have a go, see what everyone was talking about, and so they had it here demonstrating a game called Strike Suit Zero. We'll find out more about that later in the video, but first let's find out a bit more about EToo from Tracy King.
Hello, I'm Tracy King. I'm one of the organisers of EToo London here in Soho. We're a grassroots sort of mini E3 event running in conjunction with the main E3 event out in LA, and we've got a bunch of indie developers from all over the country and even flown in from the rest of Europe, as well as some of the big publishers. So let's go and take a look. Okay, so this is the main room here at EToo London. We've got loads of independent developers showing their games to people who've come down to visit us. We've got a GameStick corner going on there, one of our sponsors. We've got some of the big publishers showing off there, and then one of the main attractions has been the Oculus Rift, which is right here in front of me now. And then we've got another room downstairs, which we'll take a look at now. And here we are downstairs at EToo London in the dungeon, and we've got some independent developers down here. We've also had stuff from our sponsors Sony and GameStick. We've had some of the big publishers. We've had Ubisoft here, Activision, and today's the last day of EToo London, sadly. We're on the live stream this evening up until about 1 AM, but hopefully we'll be back next year even bigger and better. See you there.
Okay viewers, so we're going to find out a bit more about the Oculus Rift now from Benjamin Smith from Born Ready Games. So Benjamin, tell me about when you first got your hands on the Oculus Rift and your first impressions.
Okay, so first time I played it was at PAX in Seattle last year. This was just after it had been announced, and I managed to play Doom 3, which is a horror game, very scary experience, and these monsters were jumping at me, and your natural reaction is to jump. You do physically move, so your head moves and the game world moves with it, and that is an incredible thing, for this kit to react to your own movements and for the game to accompany that, which is incredible. So we got on the blower to Oculus shortly after that and said, hey look, we're making this space combat game, it'll be a great fit, can we have a kit, can we work with you guys? And they were all for it, hence why we're here today showing off the game. So it's been a good ride so far.
Now tell us a bit about the game that you're showing here today, and how long the process has taken, how complex the process has been to adapt it to Oculus Rift.
Okay, so Strike Zero, it's a space combat game. We're really looking to bring back a genre that kind of died out a little bit after its 90s heyday. At the core of the game we've got a mech, so you can transform from a spaceship to a mech. And but yeah, it's traditional space combat with a little mech twist there. In terms of making it Oculus compatible, we actually managed to get it working with Oculus within a day. So it was actually quite an easy thing initially. It didn't work very well at first, but it was compatible. The version that we're showing here today is about 2.5 weeks worth of dev time, and the main obstacles we've had to overcome in that time are predominantly HUD and UI. So we had to make sure that we could still get across the right information to the player, but have it work within a 3D environment. So initially we had a static HUD that moved wherever you moved. Now we've got a HUD that's holographic in nature and sits in the cockpit with you. It stays in the middle of the screen almost, and it's hard to get across by watching the video. You can probably see, but when you've actually got the headset on, you get that real sense that it's being beamed into your eyes in the cockpit. So it's just making sure that the core mechanics, the information we need to portray to the player works with Oculus, and there's certain obstacles we need to overcome, and we're doing that now. Hopefully well, we'll see.
How's your experience been of using Oculus? You've used it for long periods of time. You've got a game here that's vertiginous, I think is the word people would use. There's a lot happening. You're falling around in space. What's been your experience and the experience of the development team so far?
I mean, it's been great. We've got a game here where it's all about the big, epic, fleet-wide space battles, which I think you kind of picked up on there. It does get very hectic at times. It's funny. It kind of changes the way you play. As in, normally you have to rely on moving the camera around to see where your enemies are, and you have to rely on the UI and where the pointers, where the markers are showing you where the enemies are. Now you can look, you can look above, you can look out the windows to either side of the cockpit, and you get a much more organic sense of your surroundings and the battle that's unfolding around you. And for us as developers to be able to capitalize on the technology to do tricks like that is incredible. So it's really allowed us to make the version of Strike 2-0 that we've kind of wanted to from the perspective of immersion, and it's been what we've got here is still in development, but it's really quite something, I think personally.
There are lots of developer demos that have been produced recently. I'm sure you guys have tried quite a few out. What have been a couple that have taken your fancy so far?
One of the ones that sticks out in my mind, which I'm sure many people have seen, is the guillotine demo. So they have people, in their real world surroundings, lying on maybe a bench or a stool or something, and in the Oculus, in the game world, you've got this your head's on a block, and you're ready for the chop. And this, just as the moment happens, someone will give you in real life will give you a little chop on the back of the neck, and then in the game again you see this head roll in front of you. And I think that little tricks like that and little innovations where you're blending real life and the game world is really quite something. So that's one that sticks out in my mind. Yeah,
I've seen a few actually. I've seen a live cinema that you can walk into. I've seen an ocean one and one where you're flying around sort of the solar system. That looks absolutely fascinating. I would say final point really just on this then is, what are you most excited for about it? Looking to the future, what's the sort of thing you would like to see on the Oculus Rift?
Personally, I'm a massive horror fan, and I think in terms of genres that will work well with Oculus, I mean, space is definitely a genre that works well. You've got all degrees of motion. You can look all around you. Space is a perfect setting, but equally, I'd like to see dank, horrible environments, enemies coming out of nowhere, and that really psychological thing. When you've got the headset on that, you are in that world. All you can see is the world of the game, and for me, horror is going to really take advantage of that so well, and I'd love to see games like Amnesia maybe take advantage of it. And I just love being scared, and I think nothing is going to scare you more than playing a decent horror game with Oculus Rift.
Well, brilliant. I tell you what, I'm going to have a look at it myself, and thank you very much for your time.
No worries, thank you.
So that was a nice insight there from Benjamin, taking us through that development process and some of the demos he's had fun with. Everyone's talking about it at the moment, but what's Oculus Rift actually like to use? Well, at the moment it's still quite heavy. You put it on, it takes a moment for your eyes to become accustomed to it. It's slightly out of focus, it felt to me, and a lot of that's down to the pixelation on the screen. We're looking forward to the 1080p version, because the 720p, it's fun to use, but it's not something I would recommend buying, because as soon as the 1080p version comes out, it will be miles better. But the immersion is beyond anything you've seen before, and what you don't get also to scale. I mean, when you look at the field of view in some of these videos, it looks like the field of view is a long way back, but then when you're actually in there, if you're looking at a steering wheel for example, it's a full-size steering wheel in your gaming world. But from the sort of twin eye viewpoint that you see here, you do look a lot further back in the cockpit. The HUD is amazing in 3D. The 3D is perfect. It's the best 3D I've seen in my life, because you have one screen for each eye. So it's really well handled there. It looks absolutely fantastic. It is a bit dizzy when you're flying around in space. I didn't have any motion sickness, so some people do, and if any game's going to cause motion sickness, this will be the one. But overall I found it a lot of fun. I very much look forward to getting my own one and getting my hands on it, but I am going to wait until the 1080p version becomes available, and then you can expect some more content from me on that. And also I'm looking forward to some of the demos as well, improving and refining. This is something which will probably be out towards the latter half of 2014. Still a lot of development to go yet, perhaps early 2015 at this rate, but certainly when we're talking about the future, Oculus Rift is there, and at this stage it looks amazing. But now I'll leave you with some no comment gameplay that you can enjoy, and there'll be more from me, more Oculus Rift action, and lots of other stuff as well.
Your objective is to safeguard the Mercury and secure the intel she's carrying. She's being pursued by an enemy force of unknown size. Eliminate the threat and secure the intel.
rendezvous. No contacts. Holding position.
It is vital you secure the Mercury. If you lose her, you lose Earth.
Full signature detected. We have a visual. Mercury, what's your status?
The Colonials are right behind us. We have the intel, but we can't transmit. We have to take it to control.
Mercury, this is UNE Cruiser Titan. How long until you can fold out?
We overloaded our drive just trying to stay ahead of them. We're going to need some time.
Copy that, Mercury. Moving to cover your location.
Enemy contacts folding in.
Watch yourselves. Those are Black Fleet ships. Mercury, if you can do anything to speed up your drive recharge, do it.
Missile launched.
All ships, defend the Mercury.
Adams, let's see if we can even the odds. Take out the frigate's heavy turrets, but watch out for those fighters. The Black Fleet only recruits the best.
Your objective is to safeguard the Mercury and secure the intel.
But we can't transmit. We have to take it to control.
Mercury, this is UNE Cruiser Titan. How long until you can fold out?
We overloaded our drive just trying to stay ahead of them. We're going to need some time.
Copy that, Mercury. Moving to cover your location.
Enemy contacts folding in.
Watch yourselves. Those are Black Fleet ships. Mercury, if you can do anything to speed up your drive recharge, do it. All ships, defend the Mercury.
Adams, let's see if we can even the odds. Take out the frigate's heavy turrets, but watch out for those fighters. The Black Fleet only recruits the best.